We got a problem in the Middle East. We have a country known as Iran that for 47 years has been just a purveyor of terror, and they're very close to having a nuclear weapon. We can keep going and get that 50,000 up to 55 and 60 is no end, or we can take a stop and make a little journey into the Middle East and eliminate a big problem. And Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up, and you said, let's do it, because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon. So we are now having really good discussions. They started last night, a little bit, the night before that, and I think they're very good. They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. You have to get it done. But I would say there's a very good chance. And it began when I said that I won't be. We were planning tomorrow on shooting down some of their power plants, and we're going to hold that up. Hopefully we won't have to do it, and hopefully we can make a deal that's good for all of us, including the Middle Eastern allies that have been very good to us, including Israel, that's been a great partner in this fight. They've really been a good partner in the fight. They fought hard. But we'll see what happens. I think there's a very good chance we're going to end up in a deal. And so we're giving it 5 days, and then we're going to see where that takes us. And I would say at the end of this period, I think it could very well end up being a very good deal for everybody, as good as if we went all the way and just literally annihilated the place, which if we don't have to do that, that would be a good thing, not a bad thing.
My pleasure. Great to be with you guys.
Okay, so man, I'm thankful to bring y'all this news that Donald Trump has decided to go back on his whole idea with regards to hitting the Iranian infrastructure. And I'm going to explain to you why, right? Because we got to look at this map right here. When you look at this map right here, then you can understand. This is the map that I used on a show with regards to this whole issue when it comes to Donald Trump actually wanting to go and hit the energy infrastructure of Iran to make an attempt to allow the Iranian people to end this. And I'm not talking about the Iranian people. I necessarily should be saying whoever is in charge of Iran right now in its artillery, because it is still conducting missile strikes. However, we have developed a ceasefire in accordance with what Donald Trump is saying. And the reason why is because, as I explained, what you have is if Donald Trump was to go hit the energy infrastructure, even though whoever's in charge of Iran right now is still hitting civilian population with cluster bombs, right? Yet and still, should we be going out there and terrorizing the Iranian civilians as well? And this is what I mean. If you hit this energy infrastructure, what will happen is primarily, and I'm just going to show you from the map. I'm going to show you from this map right here. So this in this province alone, right? This in Domovan, a power plant, right? Which is near Tehran. It's the largest Iranian power plant. If you hit this if you hit this power plant alone, 1 million people in Iran is going to be affected in the surrounding provinces with the hit of this power plant. We just going to just look at this power plant alone, right? That's 1 million civilians. Do you want to bring that Trump a dramatic effect to the civilian population when you absolutely at this time want them to be on your side? I necessarily thought it was going to be a bad move on Donald Trump's behalf to go ahead and hit these power plants, because what you would end up having is, into what I believe, you will have more of the civilian population for safety reasons, being forced in to fight with whoever is in charge of the Iranian government right now. Or I don't want to say necessarily the Iranian government, but whoever is in charge of this weaponry that is still seemingly able to launch missiles at surrounding countries and just cause chaos, right? With all the, manufacturing of missiles that has been hit, with all the destroying its artillery, its army or whatever, it had to even launch this whole idea of a terror attack or a nuclear weapon in another country, which a lot of the equipment they absolutely got from China. So I don't understand where they're getting this artillery from in the first place when so much of it has been hit. But they're finding it from someplace. And China was primarily one of the individuals who was assisting them with the buildup of all this, you know, these missiles, basically. And if you just think of the traumatic effect that this would have on the people, we talking about children, we talking about the loss of connectivity with family members and displacement. You would have a certain thing to where these individuals will be in attempts to for safety, for security, for nourishment of themselves would have to find some place to go to get away. It would be a breakout in communication, and with that sense of also displacement, here you will have these individuals needed to go somewhere. Is the United States supposed to accept them? Is Israel supposed to accept them into their country? And I don't think that'll be a good idea on Donald Trump's behalf to take in refugees, Iranian refugees, when he's trying to win this whole immigration issue, right? If this happens and Donald Trump decides to go ahead and knock out this Iran's energy infrastructure, do you not believe that we're going to have the Iranian military, whatever it is, go ahead and begin to force some of these Iranian peoples to begin to be loyal to them in the fight against Israel, the United States? Will we have rise to another terror organization against the United States, or would what is out there already actually grow and expand? I think it would grow and expand. I think the hate for America in Iran would grow that much more when, accordingly, you had a whole lot of Iranians on the American side. They wanted the leadership going because when you look at Iran from what it was yesterday, right? And I mean in the 1980s, you could just see the difference. And you can see the difference primarily when you look at the women the women in that nation, the women in Iran. They look, their dress code has gotten completely different. I don't have a picture at the moment, but you have to consider the terrorism that will be developing. The evacuations, the injuries, and the trauma that the civilian population is going to go through if these power plants end up getting hit. Because I don't think he's going to go after any gas or oil pipelines. That's out of the question. That would cause some other stuff, right? That we don't even need to talk about. But it's the power plants, the loss of connectivity. I would consider that you will want to keep this stuff in place because you have the ability to have some type of wiretap going on, be able to monitor phone calls and stuff like that. But accordingly, you can also use some type of cell phone. So, but it is what, spring now, and thankfully we ain't talking about we just got out of winter, right? In fall, basically. No, excuse me, we just got out of winter, and here we are. We have an opportunity where if these power plants were to end up getting hit, that these people wouldn't be out in the cold. At least you have a couple months to develop some type of humanitarian, get them some type of warming utensils or implements or something to keep themselves warm. Because if this was to be done in the winter, man, that would be like, man, that would hurt these people. Tony Cross-H.U.G on the Trumped Up Live show. Good decision by Trump to give it an extra 5 days. And I'm glad that the Iranians, whoever is in charge, whoever they're speaking with, decided to have this ceasefire and come to the table and talk, because it's all about nuclear weapons. I think what's going to end up happening is, like Germany, you're going to have some type of council in Iran, and it's going to be split between Israel, the United States, and Saudi Arabia, and probably some other people. Whoever decides to, support the cause and bring in Iran to its nuclear halt. China ain't gonna do it. It's a good day to be a soldier.
They said transformation was impossible. Faith, facts, and fire. Tiny Cross-H.U.G style.